Hi guys, welcome back to Steppers. We are super excited to finally be bringing you another one of our video series episodes. I'm joined by the Cheshire Cowgirl, Tiesh.
Hey
How are you,
guys.
girl?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
I am cold because I have no heating and no hot water, but we move. We're rock stars. It's fine. But more importantly, we have a very special guest this week.
We do
So all
indeed.
the way from Nashville, bringing us some tales, storytelling, insight into his music. We are joined by the one and the only Mr. John Haywood. Welcome in, John.
Going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for
Our
joining us.
pleasure.
So we'll jump right in because we were really privileged that we got a chance to meet you and come to one of your gigs when you were over here in the UK in York at the
The
Vinyl
45
Cafe,
vinyl. Yeah.
45 Vinyl Cafe
Yeah.
in York. And you probably don't know this, but I'd been out all night the previous night and I had no idea that I was coming to this gig. And I'd had so much tequila that I'd fallen asleep at about 10:30 in the morning. And this one just shows up at my door and is like, I've got a surprise for you. We're going to York. And I was like, okay. But
I
so
did have
glad
to
that we
help you
got
get ready
you
before
did
we
have to
left.
basically dress me before we left. So, but nonetheless, what a way to cure a hangover. So, jumping right in, because I felt like your music really resonated with me, like your storytelling, your songwriting. Um, but growing up, were there any artists that you would say stand out specifically as being influential in your career?
Um, Growing up, I didn't really have too much of a musical introduction growing up. I listened to mostly '90s country from my dad, and my mom listened to a lot of '80s power ballads and '90s stuff like that, Nora Jones and all. And, she loved Whitney Houston, Celine Dion, and but I would say when it came back around, and I found myself digging country music at an older age and actually trying to sing it and play it, which I never thought I'd be doing. Alan Jackson is probably the biggest influence that I can connect to my childhood. I mean, maybe not so much when I was growing up, or at least I didn't realize it at the time. But now when I listen to his music, he's the one I connect with most from the variety of music that I was hearing when I was a kid. And a lot of his songs really take me back to when I was younger and riding in the truck with my dad and going out to the campground and stuff like that.
I love that. My weirdly,
Crazy.
and everybody thinks it's crazy when I say this, but my dog's favorite song is "It's 5 o'clock somewhere," and we were like, he's literally jumped on stage during a live performance when he heard that song. He got so excited. So I can relate to this. It plays in Alan Jackson plays in my house a lot.
Bless. So I remember you mentioned that you moved to Nashville. What sort of led you to go to Nashville? Was it purely for the music? Um, and the transition of moving to Nashville, what was that like?
Yeah, initially, I actually had traveled through Nashville in 2016. I was
Mhm.
driving across the U.S. just for the hell of it, and I was more so a writer back then. I wanted to be a novelist, and so I saw that something kind of cool was going on in Nashville. So I went back in 2019, and my goal then was to write a book about songwriters, write a novel about songwriters. And after a year there, I don't know, just fell in love with the city. I fell in love with songwriting, and by the end of that year, I was like, I just want to be a songwriter. Like, forget writing books for now. Of course, COVID hit, so then I went back to Maryland for a while. Studied guitar. Uh, got a smartphone because I had a flip phone at the time. I hated social media and everything, but I got social media and started researching the music scene because that was kind of a necessity. And then I went back in 21, uh, like in I think New Year's Day, January, and ever since I've been in Nashville. And initially, it was very much a grind. I was playing probably like 20, 25 to 30 writers rounds a month. and pretty much like every day. And that was mostly to get myself out there and get my name heard and learn and be challenged. That's probably the biggest thing that was like a shock, and I don't say it in like a bad way. It was more so just like
Yeah.
it was really exciting. It was very it was unexpected in some ways, but everyone's so talented and the songwriting is so good that you go out and see writers rounds night after night, and you're just constantly challenged, and you get excited about writing new songs. And I'm a very competitive person, so I'd hear somebody sing a song one night and I'd be like, wow, I got to go home and write a better song than that. Just kind of my nature. So that was definitely a big thing with Nashville. When I first moved there, it really kind of shook up my world in a lot of ways.
Yeah. I find that really interesting. Did you ever finish your book?
No, but I did return to it about 2 years ago, I guess,
Yeah.
a year and a half ago. And I'm working on it now. I've got a lot of notes. I started taking notes on it, and now I have all the stories and all the experience. So I just have to. I would like to finish it. So I
That's
didn't do much.
amazing.
I
I'd
didn't
love
really
to listen to that one afterwards.
Yeah, I didn't really get past the research phase in Nashville in 2019. So now I'm past. So.
Yeah, I think probably like I've got a couple of friends who are songwriters out in Nashville as well, and they've always said that the most exhausting or the most difficult thing is the exhaustion that they feel like. Sometimes they feel they've hit a brick wall and it takes over their life. They get consumed by what's next, what's next, what's next, and they kind of like find it a little bit difficult to be present sometimes. So I guess what would you say is your biggest challenge that you've faced in your music career or as a musician that that you've kind of come up against?
I would say it's probably what I'm going through right now. I've found myself in a bit of a slump over the last 2 years, where I don't feel myself being as challenged as much, and I've been looking for new avenues and new venues to explore, new songwriters to explore, to be challenged in that way. The UK was certainly challenging for me. That was exciting because I saw a lot of music out there and a lot of performances that were just different and things that I wasn't used to. And I found some other bars around Nashville as well that have been challenging me a bit more. The songwriting scene in Nashville is kind of, I feel that it's been a bit torn up over the last few years. They've a lot of the bars aren't around that we had, and there's not as many songwriter spots. Uh, and I don't know, the city's just kind of changed a lot in the last few years. So I've had to kind of branch out and find some new places. Fox and Lock is one of my favorite bars in Nashville, which is actually about 40 minutes outside of it. But they have an open mic there every Thursday, and I started going to that. And it's a wide variety of music, and it's a very sought after open mic, and they get a great crowd. It's a good listening crowd there. So that's been really good for me. But I guess overall, the biggest part of what's been the challenge is just um, the lack of a challenge and and trying to set new goals and pick up some steam with social media and stuff like that. I mean, it's just that stuff's constantly a challenge. Uh,
Yeah.
I've been posting videos a lot lately, and they've been doing really good, and I was feeling encouraged. And then lately, over the last like couple weeks, uh, I guess like TikTok's decided to just kind of like uh,
Yeah.
nerf my views and stuff like that. And it's frustrating when you're doing all that stuff. I mean, it's just there's so many ups and downs, and you feel like you're not really getting anywhere. But
Yeah.
you just gotta kind of do it, I guess.
And we can relate to that like a lot. We go through, we have chats about social media all the time, and I run my NFL page, and then we run this one, and our individual ones that go along with this. And sometimes you feel like you're like skyrocketing, and you're like, oh my goodness, it's going somewhere, and then all of a sudden you got like stuck in 200 view jail,
Yeah.
and you're getting nowhere. So we can relate to that one
Yeah.
hard. It's so difficult.
Yeah. And just you were talking about obviously going back to the songwriting side of it. I was just wondering, do you have like a process of when you're writing songs, or does it like vary between the songs that you write?
When it comes to co-writing,
Yeah.
my process is usually I try to have some verse or a chorus or something that I can bring into a write. And then when you get into the write, you're looking through your. I've got notes on my phone, like all the hooks that I have in my phone of different song ideas. Sometimes it's not a hook. Sometimes it's just like a broad idea that I could bring to a song.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing I like to do when I co-write with people is just sit and have a conversation, especially with somebody that I've never written with before,
Yeah.
and just talk for like half hour, an hour. Or sometimes I've even talked to people for 2 hours, and then we write a song in 30 minutes, and like just from something that comes out of that conversation. Um, when I do solo writing, I think lately my process has been writing down poetry and then putting that into song. Not so much. Sometimes I'll have like a chord or two, or I'll get a little progression going, and I can kind of feel it. Um, I'll write to that, but I found recently for my own songwriting, I do like to write it solo a lot. It's been more of a like a poetry kind of thing. I like to have it all down on paper, and then I don't have to think about what I'm gonna put to these chords and stuff. I can just kind of come up with music to go to it.
No, that sounds
Yeah,
amazing.
it is interesting. It's because I teach English through the day, and I always say that the kids will say to me, "I hate poetry," and I'm like, "Well, do you listen to music?" Like
Yeah.
it's all poetry. It's all a form of poetry. Um, so would you say that there's any genres outside of country music that influence the music that you produce, that you write?
Yeah, I mean there's a ton of genres, honestly. I When I first started really branching out in my music taste, it was Frank Sinatra. I was like 17, and I went to an Olive Garden with my high school sweetheart, and Frank Sinatra was on, and I was like, "What the hell is this? This is amazing!" And so I got really into the old big bands and stuff like that. Dean Martin, um, Sinatra, all those guys, Ella Fitzgerald, and all. And that was kind of what started me on my. I never thought I was going to be a singer, but that kind of started helping me learn how to sing because I sing that stuff in the shower and in the car, and I guess eventually it kind of worked. Um, and then in my 20s, I listened to a lot of. I got really into the blues, and I started digging into like a lot of 70s stuff, like the Allman Brothers and Grateful Dead, and um, the songwriters as well, like Paul Simon, James Taylor, guys like that. 70s have just so many great bands, great songwriters. So that's still to this day very influential. And then when I started getting into country after I moved to Nashville, started really getting into songwriting. I went as far back as I could. Started listening to like Marty Robbins and Merle Haggard and George Jones, and then I got really into the outlaw stuff. And that was where kind of the buck stopped for me for a while, was the outlaw country music, William Whalen and all those guys. But and even a lot of that is inspired by blues music as well. So I think like folk and blues was really big when I was in college. It was 2013. I graduated from college, and that was like the indie pop revolution, like Bon Iver and Skinny Love was on every radio, and
Mm.
the Civil Wars and stuff like that. Mumford and Sons, like there was a lot of really good indie folk music, and that really inspired me a lot too.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And
Yeah.
you can hear all those different influences coming through, definitely. Like, certainly one of the things that I said, you've got that kind of outlaw, but then there's a little bit that folk comes through. And
Yeah.
we spoke a lot about it on the car ride home, and we were saying that there's so many.
Yeah,
That's why I wanted to get your perspective of it, because we could hear all those little influences, you know, like
yeah.
at different
And
points. So
one of the songs you sang on that night was very bluesy, and I loved that. I thought it was great.
yeah,
And this is like, I mean, part of why we love country music, I think, is the three chords in a story. That's like the old saying of doing that. And I think with songwriters, I think there must be some sort of vulnerability of doing the storytelling through the songs. I'm just wondering on your take of that, like how are you being so vulnerable, like with your songwriting, and like performing it live? Because obviously it shows the vulnerability through your music when you sing.
Yeah, I think I kind of thrive on that stuff.
Yeah,
I some people like to put on more of a performance, um, but there's no part of me when I'm playing a show that's acting like I love really digging into the emotions. I'm a pretty stoic guy, but I'm also a very emotional guy, and I just love connecting with people. I love um, really digging into, like, especially feelings of like sadness and frustration and things like that.
yeah,
Um, because I've experienced a lot of those throughout my life, and um, I don't know. I just really enjoy. I feel like that's when people need to be connected with most. When you're happy and everything, uh, and you got a happy song or something, that's great. Like, you don't need anybody
yeah,
to amplify your happiness, but if they can, that's cool. But it's when you're like down and out, or you're angry or you're frustrated, that you really need somebody to kind of like meet you where you're at. And so I guess that's why I've been always drawn to that side of emotions. And I love being real with people. Like I don't. Growing up, I didn't ever seem to care for people who were fake or seem to be trying really hard or putting on a performance, or Hallmark movies annoy the hell out of me because everybody's
mm,
all happy all the time. And I'm like, no, nobody's like,
yeah.
okay to be sad and be real about things.
Absolutely.
yeah. I think one of the things that there was a moment in your set where you sang about the light bulb in the hallway needing changed,
Yeah.
and Tiesh looked at me like dead in the eyes, and I had tears in my. I was literally about to cry, because I said to you, didn't I? Like
Yeah,
literally 2 days before, I said like I'd had my heart broken just like a couple of months before Christmas, and I said I can't even change the light bulb in my bedroom.
yeah,
And so when you sang that line, I was like,
Yeah.
and like you said, it's that connection, isn't it? It's that
yeah,
having someone else who understands that pain. It's easy to be happy and put on that show, like you said, and I think so many people do it all the time, where it's just like, yeah, I'm fine. Someone asks you,
yeah,
are you okay, and you say, yeah, I'm fine. So hearing someone else being vulnerable, you just, it hit hard. And even you said you were like, I almost cried for you when that line
yeah.
when you sang that line, because I was like, she knew.
It was just quite funny because we'd had that conversation probably about a week before we came. And as soon as you sang it, I looked at Megan thinking, oh my God, this is you.
I've had that song on repeat, by the way, since like on my Spotify. I was trying to find it Spotify, and then I was like, I don't think it's on there. So I was like, right, YouTube. So I've just been on the YouTube listening to it.
Well,
But yeah, no, I love that. Love that.
I appreciate
Um,
it. One of my favorites. Yeah.
It is
yeah,
a great song.
it really is. It's fast becoming one of my most played songs this year so far. Um, so switching up a little bit then, what is one song, and it doesn't have to be country, what's one song that you wish that you had written?
Um, I don't know. I think maybe that's
It's a really
It's a
tough
hard
question.
question.
um I don't know. Maybe like I guess recently it would probably be like a Stapleton song.
Mm.
Yeah,
Maybe really groovy songs. Uh Maybe like Wicked Game, Chris Isaac. That's my all-time favorite song. So I mean, of course I wish I would have written that one. Like I
yeah,
I was actually thinking about that the other day when I was singing it, I was like, when I sing stuff, I often like my mind wanders, and sometimes I'll like forget a lyric or just start laughing because I'm thinking about like, what if I just fell on stage right now or something? Like, just think
Yeah.
about things a lot when I'm singing.
Yeah.
Sometimes, even if I'm like, heartfelt in a song, I have ADD, I guess. But I was just singing this song and I was thinking like, why do I like this song so much? And the song's like, I don't want to fall in love. And I was just thinking about how like maybe I just have really bad commitment issues or something. But
That's fair.
that's
Yeah, that is fair.
yeah,
Yeah, it's not fun out there, especially in this generation, I don't think.
Yeah, hard relate
Yeah.
for that one.
yeah.
My one that I always sing is Girl Crush by Little Big Town.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's like my go-to shower song. And the other day I was similarly singing the song and I'm listening to the lyrics and I was like, girl, this is pathetic. Stop.
Yeah.
I was like, get a grip of yourself.
No, that's great. Are you currently working on anything now that you're excited about?
Yeah, I have a fully produced single that I'm going to put out soon. But I think before I do that, I've got some live recordings that I did,
Mhm.
and I've been playing some bar. I played some bars around my hometown recently, and I just had a thought to record them on my iPhone. I use a small little
Yeah.
PA or whatever, and they worked out pretty good. So I'm gonna release them. I'll probably do. I think the first one's gonna be an original. It'll actually be the blues song,
Oh, amazing.
and I think the other two might be some cover songs or something, but we'll see. And I thought that I'm excited for that because the bars that I play around here are or in my hometown are important to me, and I love the people out there. I connect with a lot of folks out there, so that'll be kind of cool to drop some live stuff, and then I'll have the produced single probably in the spring, and we'll see where I'm going after that.
No, that sounds amazing. When do you think that you'll be releasing it? The bluesy song, because
The next few
it's one
weeks.
of my favorites.
yeah, we'll be like
I really
watching for
like that
this.
song.
Yeah,
um
I've got a version of it out there. It was just a one take that we did in the studio. It's
Yeah.
acoustic, but yeah, the live version is definitely a little different. So I'm gonna release that, and it'll have the original on it too. But probably a few weeks, it should be out.
Oh, amazing. I'll look forward to that.
Yeah.
yeah, that is really exciting. So we ask everyone this question and it's just a little bit of a fun one. What would you say is your biggest ick when it comes to country music or the country scene?
Um, Probably all the drama and stuff. Uh, there's a lot of people these days in country music that want to stir up the pot about their exes or somebody they don't like in the scene or something. That's
Yeah.
really annoying to me. I just think you should just shut your mouth and sing some music.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It's different. It's
Yeah.
different singing about yourself and how you feel about a situation than it is going out and attacking or drawing someone else down. So
Yeah.
yeah, totally get that one.
Yep.
That's pretty much the end of the questions I think we had lined up, but we would love just for you to shout out all the social media platforms that you're on and then your like username, so we can get like all the listeners to give you a following thing so they can follow your journey as well.
Yeah. Instagram's just Hey Haywood, HeyHayWood. TikTok's the same one, except there's an underscore, HEY_HAY, I think. On Facebook, you can find my music on Spotify, Apple, Pandora, everything. There is another John Haywood. He's a bluegrass guy. He's actually very talented, but I'm not the bluegrass guy, so maybe see it pop up.
Amazing.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's
Amazing.
great.
Well, thank you so much for joining us again.
Yeah.
Like we
Thanks for
appreciate your time.
Yeah, we
Um
do.
and yeah, we will hopefully see you the next time you're in the UK. Hopefully you'll head back to our neck of the woods soon, and we'll be able to catch up then properly as well.
All right, yeah, I'll definitely come out and see you guys again for sure.
Yeah,
Love
that'll
that.
be great.
Love that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you guys for listening, joining us for our episode. Please make sure you go and follow John on all socials. We will share all of his links, etc., in the description of this video. And we will catch you next week for some more Two Step In with Choosin, Texas.